Crawford has reportedly given a bold nod to Floyd Mayweather's challenge during a live exchange with Stephen A. Smith. For Crawford, stepping into the ring has never been about comfort. It's about testing boundaries and embracing every obstacle, no matter the magnitude. With unshakable composure, he declared that boxing thrives when the elite face the elite, and he refuses to turn away from that calling. In his words and demeanor, Crawford made it clear that a showdown with Mayweather isn't just another fight. It's an opportunity to once again prove his greatness and silence every doubt by going beyond all expectations.
Businessman, because this is Terence the businessman talking, right? They got to pay the cheddar to make it better, right?
For sure, for sure. All money ain't good money, so you got to know that.
Okay, fair enough. I hate to use the word easy, but at times it did feel like you were, having a really easy time out there. Were you expecting it to play out that way?
Listen, it's never easy,
Stephen A. Smith, known for his fiery takes, has never held back when it comes to combat sports. And his admiration for Terence Crawford reflects that same intensity. When Smith applauds Crawford for conquering 4 different weight classes, it isn't casual talk, it's recognition of an achievement almost extinct in modern boxing. In today's climate, fighters often hesitate to climb divisions due to the immense risks. Yet Crawford not only accepted those dangers, but conquered them. His dominance across weights places him in a league of his own. As Stephen A. explains, this rare versatility cements Crawford as one of the greatest pound-for-pound warriors ever, showcasing not just physical range, but also elite technique, unmatched willpower, and a relentless drive to test himself against the toughest opposition possible.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab. He used his distance. He had poise in the ring. He wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
Roy Jones Jr., a living legend who understands the grind of ruling multiple divisions, has showered Crawford with high praise for his brilliance in the squared circle. Reflecting on Crawford's masterclass against Canelo Alvarez, Jones noted how Crawford seamlessly borrowed tactical lessons from the likes of Floyd Mayweather and Arislandi Lara fighters, who had exposed weaknesses in Canelo before. What sets Crawford apart, according to Jones, is his ability to not just copy, but evolve. He studies, he learns, and he redefines strategies in real time, making them his own. This unique adaptability shows why Crawford isn't just a skilled competitor. He's a cerebral assassin who thrives under pressure, while countless others collapse when forced outside their comfort zone.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Arislandi Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then. He got Canelo's respect. With Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. He's going out and Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie. And sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
The possibility of Terence Crawford sharing a ring with Floyd Mayweather, even under an exhibition banner, has stirred fiery debate in the boxing world. Critics claim such a matchup could damage Crawford's carefully built reputation, arguing that after dismantling Errol Spence and neutralizing Canelo Alvarez, chasing exhibition money risks diminishing his legacy. They believe Mayweather, who now thrives on lucrative spectacles rather than legacy fights, could pull Crawford into the same narrative. Yet, many counter that Crawford's place in history is already secured. And taking on Mayweather, whether serious or for spectacle, would simply create another unforgettable chapter. For some, it's not a step down, but rather an electrifying opportunity to add a twist to an already legendary journey.
For Terence Crawford, it's just a situation where Terence Crawford is trying to fill up his bank account opposed to actually his legacy. This is what was being said, right? This is what people perceived. Terence Crawford was just attempting to cash out.
When comparing the resumes of Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, the conversation becomes layered and emotional. Mayweather's record sparkles with names of all-time greats, but critics often point to the circumstances. Canelo was still raw when Floyd faced him, and Pacquiao entered their long-awaited clash with injuries. The absence of key rematches also left lingering question marks. Crawford, in contrast, has consistently dominated opponents at their absolute peak, leaving no excuses and no shadows of doubt. This contrast fuels the never-ending argument: was Mayweather's unbeaten streak a testament to pure skill alone, or was it also shaped by carefully timed matchmaking? Meanwhile, Crawford's run suggests fearlessness. As he thrives on walking through fire when others might hesitate,
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation. But when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5-division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5-division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say the accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. It's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud, in my opinion.
Respected. Boxing analyst Tony Jeffries has often said that Mayweather's ultimate weapon was not his speed or his defensive mastery, but his unshakable belief. Floyd carried into every bout the certainty that no man could outthink him, and that mental edge, paired with extraordinary ring IQ, made him a nightmare to face. Even in moments where fights seemed balanced, Mayweather's poise, ability to instantly adjust, and refusal to panic gave him the upper hand. Jeffries stresses that this combination of sharp intellect and psychological strength explains why Floyd retired untouched by defeat. He wasn't just physically superior, he was mentally unbreakable.
Strong mindset, they're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work harder. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. There was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of shit.
The boxing world is buzzing with talks of a dream matchup between Terence Crawford and David Benavidez. Benavidez brings a dangerous mix of size, power, and endless aggression, creating the type of threat that could truly push Crawford into uncharted territory. Fans argue this is the kind of showdown boxing desperately needs: higher risk, legacy-defining, and unforgettable. The potential clash symbolizes everything the sport should be: precision against brute force, intelligence against raw power. While nothing has been confirmed, the ongoing speculation shows how deeply fans crave real competition over exhibitions. A battle between Crawford and Benavidez would not just be a fight, it would be a spectacle of willpower, skill, and courage that could define an era.
Because you got to remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Right. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit. Got to make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, and then you be the wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense. But that's
really
what
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend.
Sure, man.
But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Your line of suits, get your money, man. Go ahead and get the easy money, man. You ain't got to sweat no more.
What's up, boy?
Not saying you ain't got to work, you ain't got to sweat.
What's happening?
He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just whatever, doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, this ain't even that.